So the first things that come to my mind when I think of social media are Instagram, Twitter, and the app that literally lets people know that you never leave your house, otherwise known as Snapchat. I mean, I don't have a Snapchat, and have the ability to keep the fact that I never leave my house a secret, but literally letting thousands of people know about this seems like a far more logical choice. One of the things that social media is infamous for is stupid people, i.e. people who use words like literally incorrectly. If you noticed, in the first paragraph of the script, I used the word literally twice, both of which were used correctly, I think, but both of them were completely unnecessary to the script. Ironically, this whole paragraph is unnecessary to the script. Social media comes with its fair share of pros and cons. It has been known to lead to depression, anxiety, the urge to murder everyone who leads a more fulfilling life than you. Or is that just me? I feel like clarifying that that was a joke, because according to my mom, I have a lot of influence over the internet, and someone might actually think that I'm sociopathic. I mean, they're probably not wrong, but in all fairness though, social media does have its fair share of positives. For one thing, it keeps us up to date with the happenings of the world around us, and lets us know what's going on in the lives of our friends, of which I have very few of. Is it bad that one of the constant themes of my channel is lack of friends? Another positive is that it allows you to put yourself out to the world in a positive way, which oftentimes contrasts your real self, and eventually leads you to being reliant on the number of likes you get to determine self-worth. Before I get into my thoughts and opinions on each and every, not quite, individual form of social media, when I was looking through the pros and cons site for social media, I noticed that a lot of the cons were related to cyberbullying, which my initial opinion of was, how is this still a thing? As I thought back to the cringy, pretentious videos that they would show us in middle school to alert us about internet safety, but then my mom indirectly pointed out to me that I've been immersed in internet culture for some 5 or 6 years now, and not everyone has built up the same lack of care that I have towards hateful messages. I've also realized that a lot of the time, simply blocking or muting someone isn't always the surefire way of solving your problems. I suppose the message I'm trying to get across with this little mini rant is that if you're like me and think that the whole concept of cyberbullying is ridiculous, just know that your situation isn't exactly universal. Wow, now I'm being cringy and pretentious. I mean, I'm always pretty cringy, but at least I try not to be pretentious. So now on to my thoughts and stories relating to specific platforms. First of which being Twitter, which is my current favorite, unless you count YouTube as a form of social media, but for the sake of this video I'm not. But back to Twitter. The main reason I like it so much is because of how useful and friendly it is to content creators like myself. I was going to use this next segment of text to back up my point, but I honestly can't think of a very good reason. It just is. Man, this argument really fell apart. Twitter is the only platform that I use that works on PC. I mean, the only other form of social media I use is Instagram, which is designed to be used on a smartphone, so I don't have much to compare it to, but you know what, I'm just gonna tell the story. To begin, Twitter has this feature where you can connect your Twitter account to your YouTube account. What this does is essentially every time you update your YouTube channel, whether it be adding a video to a playlist, uploading a video, or even liking a video, it will send out a tweet to all your followers. Now, I don't have this feature activated on my current Twitter account, but I did have it activated on my old Twitter account for my Pokemon channel that you can learn about by watching my old channel's video, wink wink. Shameless. Once I created this YouTube channel and the Twitter to go along with it, I dished the old ones pretty much for good. Or so I thought. One day, a good 4 or 5 months after I dished the account, a new tweet popped up, which I was alerted of by one of my friends from the Pokemon community. The tweet was one of the automatic updates about liking a video. The video in question was a Spider-Man and Elsa video, which if you're unaware of, are some of the creepiest videos on the internet. At first, I thought my Twitter account had been hacked, but then a few minutes later, a daily routine video popped up and I started having suspicions of who the culprits were. Not wanting to deal with the hassle of finding out which device I'd accidentally sent into my YouTube account on, I deleted the Twitter account to prevent the issue from happening again, because I didn't feel like signing in and out of both my Twitter and YouTube accounts to disable it. Yes, I'm that lazy. 5 minutes later, I come upstairs and find exactly which device I'd sent into my YouTube account on. The culprit happened to be my little sister, and though I mildly judged her for watching a Spider-Man and Elsa video, my day went on as usual, and that was a surprisingly uneventful story. Wow. Next up on the roster of social media to bash is Instagram, which I have a slightly more eventful story to go along with. I mean, it's still a pretty mundane story, but I think it's slightly more interesting than the Twitter one. Initially, I was of the opinion that Instagram is terrible and everyone who uses it is okay, maybe it wasn't that extreme of an opinion. I didn't really like it, but I didn't really care. Here's a little bit of kinda unnecessary context. Back in the 8th grade, every single day after school, I would walk home and talk with my friend because our houses were only a block away from each other. One day, we were walking home from school and he asked me if I had an Instagram account. When I said I didn't, he stopped me in the middle of the road to get me to download it, and then forced me to like all of his posts on his profile. Well, he didn't force me, he just took my phone and did it himself, but yeah. I figured that I wouldn't strongly reject having an Instagram because it would give me an excuse to stalk random classmates and find out how they were like as a person. Ironically. Which, might I point out, was a big mistake, because I ended up finding out that people who I thought were genuine, intelligent people were actually people who use the dog filter. I'm gonna get so many dislikes on this video, aren't I? Not 2 hours go past before I had completely forgotten that I had the account. It wasn't until 4 months later that I was reminded that I had the account during a conversation with my friend, mentioned earlier, and this girl that I kinda liked. Also, I just gave my parents, siblings, and any of my IRL friends watching this something to hold over my head for the rest of my life. Cool. It wasn't until the girl that I kinda liked got a hold of my phone. Now, I didn't really care. There was nothing on my phone that I was particularly embarrassed about, until she started giggling, and I realized that she was looking at my Instagram account, which looked something like this, which is not something you want anyone to see ever, as I literally showed thousands of people. So, those are some of my thoughts, but mostly stories, relating to social media. Fun fact, you should go follow me on Twitter and Instagram. That's not really a fun fact, but please, I'm desperate. On Twitter, I post things like updates, funny life things that happened, and sneak peeks for future videos. On Instagram, I post art, pictures of my pets, and more sneak peeks for future videos. Okay, bye.